Love, Death, and Robots Season 1 was released on Netflix in 2019 and is an anthology series focused around the themes of love, death, and robots. So each segment is focused on those subjects. When I heard about this, I was intrigued because I do like anthology stuff, but also the fact that some of these shorts were like the way they were animated. Like some are CG animated, some are like 2D hand drawn animated. So I was like, I was very intrigued with this, and with season 1, me personally, I think season 1 is the weakest out of the 3 seasons so far. I can see they were a little bit inspired by like heavy metal, because as the poster said, this is a NSFW series, and yeah, this very much is. It's got, you know, a lot of violence, a lot of gore, a lot of language, a lot kind of unnecessary, and a lot of nudity, a lot of it unnecessary. So if you like heavy metal, or like seeing a lot of violent, like a lot of sex, violence, language on screen, then you would dig this. But me, when it comes to things like with nudity in movies, if there's a point to it, or if it's something with the characters, then fine. If not, if you're throwing it in pointlessly, it's like watching porn, and it's like, I don't want to see this. Like, okay. With language, a lot of it, it's kind of like, I've heard this stuff in like high school, when, you know, you got past that age where your parents were constantly knowing what you were saying. And then once you got into high school, it was like, all right, I'm just going to say all these words because, you know, my parents aren't here, even though there's adults here. My parents aren't here. So it kind of felt like that. So it was like, you're just saying these just to say them, aren't you? But, you know, with season 1, I liked, shoot. There you go. I liked those ones the most. But also with any anthology show or movie, you're going to get some that are going to be like either like really good. You're going to get some that are going to be like, okay, that was okay. And then some that were like, all right, that was garbage. Like with me, like for example, Magnet's ABCs of Death. You know, that's 26 segments. Some of them are pretty good. A lot of them, not so much. VHS, again, released by Magnet. Those, you know, again, like some of them are really good. Some are like, okay, that could have been better. So you're going to get that with any anthology thing. But, you know, in Love, Death, and Robots definitely falls into that list of like, you know, kind of like, you're going to like this one, you may not like this one. This one kind of seems pointless, while this one seems amazing. So me personally, season 1, I think, was the weakest. Not to say it was bad, but definitely a lot of them I was kind of like, okay, like that could have been better. Like they could have did this a little bit better. So if I think they were more focused on stories, then I think season 1 would have been a lot better than them focusing on like being more adult. So I think season 1 gets an average. Then in 2021, we got season 2.
just what I wanted.
Season 2, I think, is a lot better. Mainly because season 1 was 18, this was 8. So I was like, okay, so the pacing is much better. Each of these seasons, I binged in one setting. Like, season 1 took me maybe like 4 or 5 hours to do. Season 2 took me like an hour and 40, when season 3 took me like 2 hours. So, if you binge it, it's pretty much the length of a feature film, which I liked. Season 2 I think was more focused on the stories. With season 2 there was less, not really less violence, less sex, less nudity, less language. I really dug season 2 because I love more story-driven stuff. Not saying that season 1 didn't have those things, but I think season 2 did a much better job. And also why season 2 and season 3 feel different than season 1 is because it was a different showrunner. Actually, another thing that made me want to watch this series was it's executive produced by Tim Miller and David Fincher. So you have executive producers, you have the directors of Deadpool and Fight Club doing this show. So I was like, all right, let's see what they do. So I liked season 2 a lot more. They're my favorites. I really dug season 2, so it gets a grade. Then this year in 2022, we got season 3.
They were mean to robots and then robots killed them.
Now, season 3 it's to me wasn't as good as season 2, but I still enjoyed it nevertheless. I mean, with season 2, I liked each one in their own ways, more so than others. But and season 2 was definitely the same. But season 2, I think, was not as good as season 1. Or, I'm sorry, not as good as season 2, but a little bit better than season 1. And this was 9 episodes, so this took me 2 hours to binge. There were definitely moments in not just the season, but the entire show, where it's going one way, and then it completely takes a left turn and goes a different way. Yeah, it takes a left turn and goes a completely different way, and you're just like, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. So, I don't know. I think overall, they're my favorites. I think overall, season 3 was not as good as season 1, but I'm getting my seasons mixed up. Wasn't as good as season 2, but not as good as season 1. So I think season 3 gets average. I realize this show has been nominated for multiple Emmys. Yeah, it depends on where you stand with either like more story-driven stories, or you like kind of a little bit of story, but you mostly like just watching mindless violence and swearing and nudity on screen. It depends on where you stand with it. So, but I'd recommend checking the series out, especially if you like anthology stuff. So that's my review for seasons 1 through 3 of Love, Death, and Robots. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked the review. Let me know what other entertainment stuff you want me to check out, and I'll see you next time.